Yeah, man, we should be good.
We got 3 minutes.
We're in live right now.
We're live.
We're live, baby.
All right.
We live.
We're
the whole
live.
time we've been live. What's up, Wednesday Warriors?
But no, we cut it right in when you put the AC remote back over there, so we can keep our armpits from sweating tonight.
Everybody's gonna at the end of the show. It's gonna be like this.
Yeah. So, hey, welcome
Got a little
to
bat wing
another
going.
edition of Winning on Wednesdays with the Patriot Business Alliance. I'm gonna go ahead and put my earbuds in and make sure our audio is working real quick. But
Yeah, check that out.
we
Check
always
that
start
out.
with
Check
our,
1 2. Check
got
1 2
our-
3. Jelly bean. Check
we
out.
got the handsome teammate back over there.
Yeah.
freaking
Always.
The good
running
looking
the
one.
cameras
Always
and stuff
in
like
the
that.
background.
Off
Mr.
camera.
Evan.
Hold on, I
Uh,
should probably flip my hat
Yeah,
around to
yeah.
be a little bit
Yeah,
more
these some fancy
professional.
little hats we got here.
Yeah, we do. We got representing tonight. If you like the swag, we know a guy. We know a guy who can hook you up. Yeah, so let's talk about what we always start with, what we're grateful for, what our wins are, business and personal. So I'm gonna start with Skinner.
We'll start with me.
Yeah, because you're doing the sound check, so that way you can.
Yeah, we're good. Looks like
By the way,
audio
nobody
sound
hears
good.
his wins. Is that what you're trying to say?
No,
The
no,
sound
no, no.
doesn't
But
work?
but then he'll be the one. I mean, he'll get the right. It'll be instantaneous.
Yeah, we sound good tonight, fellas.
we always sound good.
So here's the deal: winning on Wednesdays. Started my
water.
business win. Right now, we're pushing to. We're kind of dominating quarter 4 in terms of
you're dominating.
Staying on top of everything we possibly can with this crazy supply chain. And I guess the win that I'm trying to point out here is the relationships I have with my clients is the win for me this week, because I've had a couple of clients that have questions about where their stuff is at. And, I'm very upfront and honest with them the whole time, but it's sitting in the port of Los Angeles for those who want to know.
Thank you, California.
So, but that's good. The relationships portion to me is the win every day for my clients, because without the relationships, I'm just selling stuff, and that's not who I am. So, personal win for me today is I got my cabinetry for my shop in today. Funny story is they delivered it to some jackhole in Garland, and it showed delivered. So I called and said, "Hey, where's my stuff at, man?" "Oh, that we delivered it at 9:07 this morning." I said, "Well, that's not going to work because it's not here at my house." They literally delivered it to some knucklehead in Garland, and that fool signed for it like it was his stuff. So he wanted, just a couple $1,000s worth of custom cabinetry.
Did they go get it?
Oh, absolutely. I was raising all kinds of hell. So showed up about 3:30 and then been running and gunning ever since. So, but the personal win is that it's there.
It's there.
And now I can get my shit together.
You can get all squared away.
Get back and organized. So Doc had to take a little. That dude never stops. Man.
Hey, you know what?
You know what I mean? Hustle,
I mean,
hustle.
That's what. Hey, you know what? It is November the 17th.
Evan, come fill in real quick and tell us about a win you have.
Yeah,
this
let's
week.
talk about a win
We'll
this
get
week.
the pretty one here. It's always good to have you, brother. We're grateful that you're on the team. So, what's your wins?
Yeah, wins. Big win. So Doc is back.
That's all right. You're still in his win. He'll give us his.
My video production business, I'm like 1 to 2 clients away from my goal by the end of the year.
Yes.
So it's, a month and a half early.
Love it.
But it's right there. I've been really working hard at it, and I feel like that hard work is paying off. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going.
Absolutely.
I'm double down on more time than I'm buying back to put into this. And I feel like this is just the beginning of something good, something big.
He's going to step up our content, guys. So if you guys are looking for a content creation, whether it's video, it's professional photography, hit Evan up, man. He's part of the team now. He's one of us. So he's here to help where he can.
Absolutely. So glad
So,
to have you,
awesome,
brother.
man.
All right.
He's too pretty for camera. He's gonna make us look bad. So Doc had to step in, get the bearded wonder back up here.
Hey, man, I'm just telling you, money don't sleep, okay? Like,
That's it.
when I see the same phone number ring my phone 3 times, I'm going to know that's something that I need to take. So I apologize for that.
Was it your car warranty, your truck warranty?
No, man. It's this new client I just picked up, an anesthesiologist hospital, and they just found out that some of the people were dipping into their narcotics locker, and now they need to figure out if they've been dipping in that narcotics locker, and so they're just trying to protect their assets.
That's a
And
big
so
deal. People do that.
I'm part of
Yeah.
their asset protection management program,
Yeah.
and when they call, our claim to fame is anyone, anytime, any place.
Right.
And I'm talking about my drug testing company, and so when that phone rings after hours, I typically know what's going on.
Yeah,
and,
it's
and
a
they
need.
and it's a need, not
Yeah.
a want.
Right. Not a want. Right.
That's for sure. Because nobody wants to call the drug testing guy.
Yep.
No,
Nobody.
nobody.
Unless you just want to, because I'm a real cool guy to hang out with.
Well, that's a fact.
So
Hashtag fact. But you know, on the other hand, be like, hey, you want to come on over here with about 20 piss cups and maybe some
I'm
hair
missing-
follicle
I'm
collector?
missing some Toradol, and I got a guy sleeping. As soon as see what he's doing, I'm like, hey, he's probably messed up.
Yeah, he's probably hot.
He's probably the guy you're looking for. You don't need me. But hey, just to confirm, I'll be there in a jiffy. So we still winning
Outstanding.
on Wednesdays,
Still winning
right?
on Wednesday.
So did we already talk about
No,
KC's
I'm
wins?
gonna go. I'm jumping in here. So the personal win is that the boys from Argentina, you know, the motorcycle crash team.
Wait, another good story about that?
Oh man, that's just greatness, man.
Are they still here?
No, but they're coming back, man. They're coming back. And then, you know, I had a really fantastic experience on a business win. I had a fantastic experience doing some business training in late September. Came back packed full of knowledge and information and started implementing these rollouts. And that has made just a phenomenal difference in the team. And I got some of the best feedback I've ever gotten from a teammate. And actually, I'm gonna read it. It's probably the nicest thing a teammate's ever said to me.
Oh,
I'm
word.
impressed that even though you have a dark black hole of emails, which you guys know is a fact, 100 different hats you wear, thousands of questions coming your way daily, you have the ability to retain information like World War II facts, but also the name of your client's kiddo, and still treat your staff like $1 million. Thank you for being you. That's not as many as Doc ran against 153,259 unread emails, but that's a lot. And you know what? Here's for winning with your team. Because, right, I don't think that if I had not done what I started doing at the end of Q3, preparing for 2022, right? We're going to scale out a world-class team, right? A world-class team. And we're all going to be aligned. One of our core values is alignment. But if we hadn't started doing that, right, got that information, right? I don't care how you get it, right? Informal mentor, formal mentor. We were talking about your informal mentors, John and Kelly Hohenschultz, some friends of ours here in this community. Who's starting to feel like a birthing
gave
department.
away your freaking secret, dude.
Yeah, well, sorry. Anyhow, sorry, not sorry. Sorry, Keith. But the fact of the matter is that when you're getting that information from a mentor, whether that mentor is the Patriot Business Alliance, you're coming to that whiteboard party, right? Actually take some action with that information you're getting, right? Implement that action. So the 30-minute drill, right? The thing you made up, right? That causes some people to crash their Raptors, and
That's on you, homie.
That's on me, right? But I still have a teammate who's doing the 30-minute drill, and he loves that accountability drill, loves it, implements it every day. And
I'm about to start mine back up.
Right. I mean, it's just a way to really just keep yourself dialed in. So that's my
30-minute drill. You talking about taking your day and chopping them up in 30-minute blocks and
yes.
seeing where you're screwing off and where you're making money at.
Yeah. So we're on a conference call with Austin. I'm going to call Austin now a little bit. So thank you, Diana, for that fantastic. And Austin, right? So I'm on a conference call with Austin today.
Yeah.
And we're on his computer doing a Zoom call, and they're like, it's 11 o'clock. So we're in the middle of this brainstorming, you know, having this great meeting, talking to this client, all just dialed in. It's 11:30, you know. And he's like, I'm sorry, I have my computer set up as my accountability.
Yeah.
It's just a thing. It's a thing. So, and then, you know,
it's insane.
And
dude.
then when it rolls around to noon, it's like, okay, like we're done. Whatever we were doing, we've spent 60 good minutes dialed in on this. Let's move. Let's start taking some action. Right. So it's a great little accountability.
Are you doing it still?
I actually have stopped doing it, but
quitter. Why'd you stop? Did you do it for 8 weeks?
No.
You got scared after you crashed the truck, huh?
No, I kept doing it a little bit after that, but I realized I was the way I had it set up, which was where the phone alarm was going off.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Too distracting.
I think the goal of that is to live your life the way you're living it, but then just document it as you're doing it and not make it a regiment. Because once I made it a regiment, I started thinking too much into it. But I actually pulled my packet out today. I was cleaning up my desk. So I'm about to start mine up again.
So the whole idea behind that accountability feature, those 30-minute intervals, is really just designed to look at your life in a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. You take, a good month of those 30-minute breakdowns and you reevaluate it. You can really see where you've lost time at, where you've capitalized on your time, where you neglected your time with family, friends, business, whatever.
Mhm.
And it gives you that honest feedback about yourself.
Only if you're honest with your schedule.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's
The
only-
information is only as good as the person writing it
Right.
down.
Well, it's
No,
like
no,
we were
no,
talking
yeah.
about before we walked in here.
Get that
Being
first win
honest-
of the day
Well,
alarm.
being honest with yourself, when we were just talking about that right now, and you can feel yourself full of bullshit, and you can tell yourself you're doing great when you're really not.
Mhm.
You can tell yourself you're skinny if you're fat. Like if you're fat, you're fucking fat. Like tell yourself that. You know what I mean? But being brutally honest with yourself is something that's only going to change you for the better. I have conversations all the time with multiple people talking about, look, are you sugarcoating your life? Are you sugarcoating your life for yourself? Because if you are, you're only holding yourself back. Evan and I were talking before the show tonight, and it's like, hey, make the jump. Remember when you guys were telling me that 2 years ago? And the look
Was
I
it
had-
only 2 years?
well, it was 2 years ago when I made the 2019 December,
Mhm.
and you said just make the jump, and I was like, well, I'm scared, but I did it.
Mhm.
And 2 years now, it's the best decision I ever made. So
Ever.
if that tells you anything, Evan, sometimes you got to go on a leap of faith, man. But you're destined for greatness. So
Yeah.
make the jump, brother.
Just jump.
Play
there's-
to your strengths, which is
got
our
a-
top.
I got
Hey,
a,
you know what?
I got a poster out here that says "Take the leap."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a reason why I buy the artwork that I buy, because I believe in it. Because
100%.
it's important
Yeah.
to take those leaps, to take those risks, to take calculated
commit to the
risk,
lifestyle.
to commit. And we're talking about this commitment. I had and some wins at the same token. I had an opportunity come up by one of my coworkers who just came on board, and he was like, Mike, I really need to make some money. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. This is a commission-based industry. And he's like, well, what can I do? He's like, have you ever thought about hanging Christmas lights? And I was like, absolutely. I've thought about it, but man, that's just not my time spent worthwhile, right?
Yeah.
I said, I can sell lights, I can estimate lights, and I can buy lights, but I can't be the guy
Putting them up.
putting them up unless it's my house because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay nobody. Whatever it is what it is. And so from there, I was like, you know what? If you want to run this Christmas light show, I'll support you 100%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll take that risk. I'll take that on. And the reason it's calculated is because it's not about putting the lights on the home. It's really not. At the end of the day, it's about me being able to get up on their roof and see if they have any damage, to see if we can't move forward with that roof process.
So there's a process to the process.
Absolutely. I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
to gather data. Data is the new currency, Evan. And if you don't gather the data when the iron is hot, I can no longer send a follow-up email, a thank you email, a thank you text, hey, it's time for your maintenance, whatever stems from that. So it's bigger. And he didn't notice the bigger. He just said, I just want to hang lights so I can pay bills. I'm like, no, bro. I need you to hang lights so I can inspect roofs and generate more business and create data and get more leads and blah, 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 blah. At the same time, making your house look beautiful. So he sends out a Facebook post and says, yo, we named our lighting thing called Doc Holiday.
Yeah.
So I thought it was clever play on words. If you're not a fan of Tombstone, shame on you.
Yes.
And you should probably turn this PBA live off now and watch Tombstone. It's just my suggestion if you haven't seen it.
So James is on. James, welcome for joining us, brother.
James,
hope,
thanks, bud.
Hope you're killing it
I
this
hope
week.
I hope your Doc's Huckleberry.
Yeah, tell us how you're winning this week in the comments, brother.
And so anyways, through this little post, we
But
ended
you know,
up
that's-
getting
that's-
a contract. Listen, we ended up getting a contract to put the lights up at Fair Park.
Yeah,
That's huge.
that's
Huge.
that's phenomenal.
And I ended up being able to freaking gather 30 bodies to go out there and accomplish the mission
well,
in a matter of 48 hours because I took the leap, Evan. Because I wasn't scared. Because I just jumped. Because what's the worst that can happen?
You know,
Nothing.
I think looking back on that moment in time where it's like, okay, I'm ready to go. And I knew in my heart and in my mind I did, but you have to have the backing of your team. And when I say team, I'm talking about the wife, your family.
Yeah, you got to have that
You know what I
alignment.
mean? Which is very, very similar to your business. You know, you need the backing, you need the buy-in from
the-
your team.
need
Now, don't get that twisted, because sometimes you're not going to get the buy-in from those people, and that's what we like to call one foot out of the boat in my
Hey,
business.
man.
And those people got to go.
Batman does not ask Robin what to do.
I love that.
Right. Right.
Because Batman plays to his strengths.
Yeah.
which
And
is
that's what we're talking
tonight.
about. And I wanted to follow up on something you just said
Yeah.
and Mike just said, which was one of Mike's strengths is thinking big.
Always.
Right. Thinking way big. And I have one of the things that being a business owner has taught me how to do, something I didn't do not very well. I didn't think big enough. Right. So Doc's got a business venture pitched to him, right? You know, hey, I want to hang lights. I need to pay more bills. Okay, let's do that. I'll back you. We're going to do this. We're going to call it Doc Holiday. It's going to be but Doc's thinking bigger, right? He's thinking, this is a way for me to build a relationship. This is a way for me to get up on people's roofs. This is a way for me to look at gutters, all the other parts of the
That's so damn smart.
service that his other companies provide,
Mhm.
right, are now part of this holiday roofing venture, right? So for 1/4 of a year, you're going to be up on people's roof, you know, helping Santa find his lighted way to the chimney, right? But more importantly, you know, getting that data, building a customer relationship. I mean, that's the kind of big thing you got to
Yeah,
have.
you should be entering 5 new people in your CRMs daily.
And that's one of Mike's strengths.
yeah.
Right. So if you're wondering, like, real world application, what the fuck does any of that mean, Casey? Sorry, Keith. What that means is come to the whiteboard party, right? Start talking to somebody who's going to
Yeah.
help you think in a more expansive way. Because I will tell you something, that when our friendship started, I wasn't thinking as expansively as I am now. Right now, I see things as, what's that opportunity?
Mhm.
Where's the opportunity there? Instead of the tunnel vision, you know, which is, I'm the little engine that could, and I've got to get here. Right. And that's very different. Like when you're starting out, you really, at least for me, I very much was, I'm the little engine that could. I need to hit this metric so I can have this employee, just this one employee, right? I got to hit this metric.
You have to start off like that.
Mhm.
You have to, unless you have the financial backing as well as the tenure behind you of experience
Yeah.
coming from. So we know a lot of great people that have come from the corporate environment and opened up a business and scaled it quickly.
Yeah.
The reason they were able to do that is because they ran and oversaw multi-million-dollar businesses,
Yeah.
right?
For that tenure.
From a I don't know, a Whole Foods, you know, they were running freaking telecom,
Sure.
they were running freaking Bally's Fitness,
Plastics company,
you know what I
something.
mean?
Yeah.
And then finally they get fed up with the culture of the corporate environment and they say, you know what, I can do it better.
Mhm.
So they get to take all of that knowledge that they received from their past experience. And then they
Yeah.
also have the working capital
Yeah.
to go in and to be able to fully scale that company as large as possible.
It does help when you have the money.
But you're talking only about 1% of people
Yeah, totally.
that are
yeah.
able to pull that trigger like that.
Yeah, that wasn't me, man.
Myself,
Mm-mm.
when I started this roofing company, I had a Home Depot credit card and a Hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it right.
Had a farmer who was at war with a local government.
Dude, my first official Black Level AV project was for the YMCA in Rockwall, and it was literally hanging one TV.
Yeah.
That's where I started. And I've sold $100,000 AV systems since then.
Right.
But the fact of the matter
You got to
is that-
start somewhere.
exactly. You
Gotta
got to start somewhere.
Got to
And
start.
it's as cliche as this sounds, but the first step's the hardest.
Yeah.
It's always the hardest.
It is, because it's traumatizing, right?
Well, I don't think it's traumatizing. Some people look at it as a negative thing. I looked at it as excitement.
Mhm.
I looked at it as motivation.
Mhm.
I looked at it as I now have to prove something to myself every stinking day. Like before, yo, I need a week off to do whatever. I don't care what happens to your business because it ain't mine. Bro, I've been in the shit for 2 weeks with this move and this relocation and all that. You know what? I've still been grinding because you can't just stop. But you know what? Every single day, I'm proving it to me.
Mhm.
I'm proving it to me and to my family. And then the rest is noise, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing.
There's nothing more rewarding.
Yeah, dude, exactly. You
There's
took the words
nothing,
right out of my
So
mouth.
if that's something that plays to your strengths, right? Having that pride of ownership, pride of
Yeah.
what you delivered, right? It did Doc Holiday, Doc Drug Testing, Doc Roofing. They're going to deliver a great experience, right?
Doc podcast.
Yeah, whatever it is,
You
right?
name
I
it.
mean, it's got
I'm
like,
seeing
and
some
same with
knuckle tattoos
same
coming.
with blood. same with Black Level AV. That's what we aspire to do at AX2, right? And that's what Evan does, right? I mean, Evan's here making this, every week.
He's taking his
This-
first step right now. And
this
he doesn't
video
even know it.
Yeah,
experience.
you already took the first.
He don't
step.
even know it that he's already in the water right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's just plugging away and he's gathering his content. He's going to be able to take the content that he's producing with us right now. He's going to be able to repurpose it. He's going to be able to show his future clients, look, this is what I've done.
This
So
is how
he's
I built
building-
it.
He's building
Yeah.
a portfolio for him. He doesn't even know that that's
Yeah.
what's really happening right now.
You already took the
He's,
step, bro.
he's just sitting over here in the chair thinking he's recording. No,
Uh-uh.
Evan, I'm way bigger.
Yeah,
My
right.
mind's way bigger.
Focusing on strengths.
Like I already see already know your vision and see where you're going to land because I know I see 10 years in front of me. I've been
Always,
living
yeah.
my life 10 years at a time for so long that I already know what I'm expecting in 10 years.
Mhm.
So when you're 78, oh
10
wait, you're
10
not.
That's you,
That's
motherfucker.
your 10 years.
Oh, my
That's
turn.
your
My turn.
next
Sorry, I
10
had a
years.
senior moment.
Yeah,
Here's
it's
another
okay.
thing that
Yeah,
playing to your strengths means to me is something I took from Doc's book was that 80-20 rule. And I'm sure if you haven't heard us talk about it, we have before, but it's delegate the 80, do the 20, right?
Yeah.
So when I started thinking about, okay, what are the strengths that I have in my business and what do I need to delegate, immediately opened up my capacity, my mental capacity, because I wasn't burdened down, like you're saying, the one man ship pulling the whole freaking tugboat. You know what I mean? So if you're in that range, your strengths are yours. My strengths are mine, yours are yours, etc. So if you're watching this, tell us what your strengths are, what you feel like they are, and where you need help at. Because sometimes we may think we're strong in certain things, but it's actually hurting us. Mine is a control issue. Like I've had to learn real quick about once you start hiring employees, like they're never going to be you. They're never going to do the work the way you do it. So I had to kind of relinquish that control, and I had to understand that was a character thing that I had to fix. So I thought that was a strength, being a good manager. But really what I was doing is I was pressing on my team so much that it was making them kind of feel uncomfortable.
yeah,
You
like
know?
you don't trust them.
Exactly. And
Like you
that
can't
causes
tr-
mistakes.
So you pretty crazy. Me and Aaron, he's been with me about 3 years now. We had that conversation today. He was like, "Man, am I in the right spot?" And I said, "Well, man, let's have that conversation."
Yeah.
Right. And I said, "Man, this is really what you're really, really great at. But I see you getting tied down and bogged down into some things that you're not real happy doing. And so what I'm doing, is I'm removing those from your responsibility." He was like, "No, man, I can't. I got to oversee." I said, "No, bro, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You don't." I said, "The only person that it's ultimately going to fall back on is me."
Every time.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, "So if what I'm doing fails, that's not on you.
Mm-hmm.
But if what I'm doing succeeds, it's on me." And it's, you know what I mean? Everything
Yeah.
ultimately falls on my shoulders in the company as the leader, the owner, the whatever label you want to use. And so it is scary when you learn a certain skill set and then you take it away from them, because that's not really the skill that they're best at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He is great at building relationships, networking.
Oh, second to none, dude.
Right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so, but he was getting bogged down in this minutia of ordering material, this, that, and the other. And you could just see it just kind of not loving coming back to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you're supposed to be excited. You're like, hell yeah, I'm waking up and I'm doing wow.
Yeah.
Right? I wake up excited every day,
Yeah.
knowing that I don't have to do a bunch of the minutia.
Yeah.
But then again, the minutia
Must be done.
has to be done.
Every day.
Yeah. Right.
Has to be. So
You gotta.
I'll spend time inside of my system and I'll do the work. I'll do what I hate doing. But I'll do it
You got to do the hard work first.
because it's part of the business,
Mhm.
you know. And yeah, it's all glamour when you're in the courtroom and you're closing the deal, right? That's why we're in it to win. That's
Yeah.
the whole reason, is to get up on stage,
Mhm.
right?
It's glamour afterwards when
it's-
you're high
well,
fiving in the parking
when
lot.
you're winning, right?
Right.
And it's glamour when you get that check,
Yeah.
right? but nobody ever wants.
Nobody
to
wants to see
that process
Yeah.
to get to this result.
Well, there's
That's
a
that-
saying.
That's
There's,
that second place trophy bullshit people get taught
Yeah.
nowadays, right? And I'm totally against that. Like if you're first year, what is it, second year last or whatever that bullshit
you're
is.
the first loser
If
or
you're-
something.
Yeah,
Like
second place is first loser.
there's so much work between starting and winning.
Mhm.
And you guys have heard me say this. I hate the people that want the trophy but don't want to run the race.
Right.
And I'll tell them that, and I hate that, and it drives me insane. There's a humongous part, and it's not 98% of all the other bullshit. It's the 2% that you get to see us winning
That's right.
every time. And I never considered that as an employee. The moment you start putting your name on a business, it's a completely different process.
Mhm.
Your mental shift has to take place. And I talk about this with my team all the time. Look, you have to shift your mentality day to day on the process that you're working on, the scope of work that you're working for. Not everything is just rinse, wash, and repeat. It never is. Like you may use the same product in our business, but it's never the same thing. That's what I fell in love with my industry.
Right.
Was that, yeah, granted, the end product is the same.
But the
But the way to
problem
get to
solving
it-
to get to it
Yeah, dude,
is
it's
the
the
exciting
troubleshooting.
part.
100%. Stand back
Because-
and go, damn, that took me 2 hours to figure out, but it's done.
Yeah, and it
Clean.
stimulates that those dopamine receptors. It
Yeah.
stimulates the norepinephrines, the endorphins,
So many
and
big
that's
words.
what we're
It's
actually.
like going to the gym.
yeah,
right?
and that's what we're chasing as
Yeah.
business owners.
Mhm.
We are
Getting stronger.
Well, hell, that's what we're chasing as people,
Yeah.
not as business owners. We are. Everybody is consistently wanting to feel good,
And they want to be better,
right?
right? As a general rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People want to feel better.
Mhm.
They want to do better. They want to be better. They want to have a better bank account. They want to have a better relationship with their wife, with their kid, with their whatever, with their
Mhm.
husband, right?
Dude, our
with
boy-
their team, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Will Rogers said 90 years ago. I was still a kid when he said it, but he said there's two things you don't want to see being made: law and sausage. And if you've ever made sausage, who here has made sausage?
I'm an Oscar Mayer guy. Just
Like-
buy it.
Like when I make breakfast, I
Like no,
Like really make
like
sausage.
make sausage.
like kill the pig and
Like the
crush
whole-
it and
Like
run it
if
through
you're
the-
from a German family, you eat everything but the squeal.
I'm
right?
Irish. We only eat spinach and potatoes.
Anyhow, the point is that sausage making
It's gross.
is and it's a lot. It's the minutia, right?
Mm,
It's a lot of not fun, not glamorous, real.
mm.
You're in it,
Let's
right?
talk about some of those things.
So when you're talking about like the 2 hours of brain damage to figure out what in the flippity flip is going wrong with this project, whether right that 2.5 hours where you're just like, "God,
Mhm.
right? You're like, okay, I need to go get a coffee and some coke and whatever. You just need to, and then you have that. Hey man, I gotta repurpose some of my team to be designated hitters over here because I need somebody who's better at doing the minutia.
Yeah, I
right?
need
And-
somebody at shortstop.
exactly
Right?
right.
Because
So
ball keeps getting through.
right. So
Yeah.
there's some brain damage that goes into that, and then there's just some repetitive mechanical work that just has to be done. Right. This project comes in, these 10 things must occur. There's nothing glamorous about it, right? It's like cranking that meat grinder, right? Getting that down. I mean, there's nothing glamorous about that, right? There's no sex appeal. There's no, man, I'm better because I ground 10 times faster than I did yesterday. So
Let's talk about how you find that strength, though. Let's say some of the people that are watching, or even us coming up. I mean, we're still learning every day. Like, where do we find that strength? Like,
By giving your teammates affirmations when they do something great.
yeah,
That's when you start honing in on where your employee strengths are at.
that's
Yeah.
where you find your strength.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, explain that.
Okay, so you're with me. You do a phenomenal job on the close. I
Yeah.
come to you and say, man, you're winning bigger than shit.
Yeah.
Right. You just made that deal. You just did it. Right. And I empower you.
Mhm.
Right. So I get strength from giving you power.
Okay, that makes
Right.
sense.
Because I've done my job.
Yeah.
Right.
Building
I've
another
trained
leader.
you well enough
Yeah.
that you were able to go out there and implement the processes that we talked about at training.
Yeah.
And you were able to go out there and close the deal.
grab that.
But if I don't come and tell you, man, Jeff, way to knock it out of the park, bro. Let's do it 10 more times.
Yeah.
Let's go get paid.
I needed to hear
Right?
that. I appreciate
Let's
that. I
go
needed to
get
hear that
paid,
personally. Yeah.
Right. And then, you know what I mean? I come back, I'm like, hell yeah, man. Whatever I'm doing is working. Right. Because
it
now
makes-
Jeff's out there getting paid. That guy's out there getting paid. Boom. And I'm out there giving accolades. Yeah. Yeah. Way to go, man. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
now when we recap at the end of the month and I say, man, Evan, how good you do? Right, man, I closed 10, Doc. Jeff, what about you, man? I closed 12. You know what I mean? So now the whole culture is feeling the vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's pumped up, ready to rock and roll again. And
Mm.
that's how you find the strengths of your team is
Yeah.
by giving them affirmations. What do they say? Praise in public, reprimand in private.
Absolutely.
Right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
whenever you fall on your face, you say, "Man, come here, Jeff. I
Mhm.
love what you did here, the great things that you did. But here's what we really want to work on. And I get that you don't like to do it. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to give you a body and I'm going to help them work with you because there's somebody out there that loves to dick with minutia. I don't know why.
It
There's
ain't me.
people out there that love to make sausage.
They love sausage.
Okay.
Jimmy Dean loves him some
You know what I
goddamn
mean? So
sausage.
all I got to do is find the Jimmy Deans. Over
Yeah, you got to find the Jimmy Dean.
I think that was the golden nugget so far out of tonight because that's what I've been struggling with right now is building a culture of leadership when it comes down to look, give me a year, I'll make you a good tech. Give me 2 years, I'll make you a good leader. But I think I'll be transparent. I've been riding Big Country's ass for a couple weeks now. And I think what you're telling me has me kind of reevaluating how I've been approaching that and how I need to adjust and redirect fire.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was playing more of the hard ass, like, hey, I'm doing this out of love, but I'm starting to see his demeanor.
That's right. You crush
Kinda-
the spirit. In a
Yeah.
minute.
And so I'm grateful for that. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing
You know what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
You'll-
I heard a great talk from a really amazing baseball player, and I think I've shared it with y'all before, but this guy was a New York Yankee, and he said that Joe Torre, one of the greatest managers in baseball, right, had 3 simple: red light, yellow light, green light, right, and that reprimand in private,
Mhm.
right, it started with the red light. This is what we expect on,
Yeah.
on the New York Yankees. When you're wearing the pinstripes,
Mhm.
Mr. Skinner, this is what we expect, right? I mean, it was just very direct. It was not,
Yeah, we don't
It's not-
sugarcoat shit.
it wasn't soul crushing, but it was enough to make you know that, man, whatever this is, I got to dial it in, right? Then you hear the yellow light, then you hear the, end on that affirmation.
Yes.
And that's a very
Yes.
simple, positive, powerful way to say, this is what we expect at Black Level AV,
Mhm.
right? This
Well, the expectations
didn't
are
happen.
set, but you just made me realize
We got affirmation Mondays around here.
the
You know
moment
what I mean?
where I was that employee where a dude was riding my ass
It sucked.
and I was like, yeah, this ain't for
Yeah,
me,
you
or
talking
I
to
don't
me like
like
that.
this, and it's not disrespectful. Like I'm not disrespectful. I'm a
So for
straightforward guy.
every
You're not a sugarcoat guy.
No,
yeah,
I'm
but
not.
but for
No
every
sugar in my body.
negative that you're gonna tell
There's nothing
somebody,
sweet about this guy. Ask his wife.
but for every negative that you're gonna bring up to your doggone and your
gotta
doggone
float-
staff,
float it with a
you
pebble.
better give 2
Yeah.
affirmations.
You really,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You better punch them in the mouth as often as you can, telling them, man, you're freaking awesome. You're awesome. You're awesome. Because here's what's going to happen if you don't. They're going to take all the knowledge that you gave them and they're going to take it somewhere else where somebody appreciates them.
No, yeah, for sure, 100%.
You know what I mean?
So
And-
I do split that, right? So I am on board with that. I understand that because I do appreciate them. They get
Sure.
they get hooked up. I'll just leave it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I take
yeah,
care
oh
of my
yeah,
guys.
yeah.
But I have to stop and I have to reevaluate this leadership style. I
Mhm.
think that's what I'm taking away
Yeah.
from this, and I'm cool with that. Like here we are. I'm admitting a fault I'm having, and I'm okay saying it publicly. It's cool. But at the same token, if anyone is going to work for me, I'm going to go to the red light. I'm going to
Yeah.
tell them very candidly what I expect from them.
And you can't hold your
You have
people
to do that,
accountable
right? That
if you didn't set clear expectations.
100%.
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you something. We're part of our topic tonight is your strengths, right?
Mhm.
And I know that one of my strengths that I've had to develop a strength I lacked. I was a good news boss, man. I was not the red light boss. I'd like,
Man,
who,
we were just talking about
who
that at
wants to
lunch.
be the heavy,
Yeah.
right? Who
Yeah.
can I hire me an office manager? I don't want to have that
I brought in
conversation,
a heavy.
right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be the heavy, right? Because
Yeah.
when I would have now it
But
rarely
are you
happens.
the heavy now?
I'm the heavy now.
And
Right?
what
I'm-
made that choice?
right? Just decisiveness, right? I have to be the heavy.
I know.
I have to take responsibility, 1,000% responsibility for all these problems. So the
Mhm.
red light problems, I want them now. I want them first. I want to be the first at bat.
Mhm.
And when there's an issue, right? I'm up to bat, not anyone else. It's not
Yeah.
delegated to anyone else. There's going to be a private one-on-one red light, yellow light, green light. And that's just the way to do it. Right. And it's not because I want it to be negative, because I embrace being the heavy. Man, there's nothing fun about that. Right. But the problem is that if you don't, those things will fester. They will get worse, at least in my business experience, right?
You'll get animosity, you'll get resentment, you'll get scuttlebutt behind the doors,
Right.
and blah, 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 blah.
Why isn't this being dealt with, right?
Yeah.
Then the rest of the team starts
You gotta
resenting that.
Hit that elephant right in the mouth.
Right. And there were ways that we were taught in different phases of our life. Everybody on the goddamn quarter deck, somebody's going to dress down. Or we talked about that boardroom meeting where it was just like the blame storming. It's just like Snoopy and that little yellow bird buzzing around, just
It's a
bark,
waste
bark,
of
bark, bark. I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
just a total
What's-
beat
what's
down.
up?
Like, what did Brannigan do wrong?
What's
I'm just
up?
going to walk around. Yeah, that one.
Sorry.
Right. That makes that. How does that help? How does that help your team be first class? Get to where you want to push them.
Yeah, man. It's a balance. You know what I mean? When you're running a business, or let's just say, the viewers are not business owners, or the listeners that listen to us, that maybe they're just in a high position in the company.
Mhm.
They're still leaders. They're still salesmen. They're all
Mhm.
selling something. And like you've said, you're selling yourself every day.
Absolutely.
But man, I'm taking away a lot more than I thought I was going to walking in here tonight. So I love when I get things out of this that I can apply, man. It's tough because the balance is so fragile. When you come to the nuts and bolts of it, it's only a tip away from being pushed over on its side. And as a business owner and a leader, it's our job to kind of make sure that balance stays, equal. It's tough, man.
Yeah, that's something that I know we talk about $1 Million Hustle, and there were so many great takeaways from that. But I remember what Mike said, Bassett said so well that night, or that day, or whatever it was. But that, at any time, at any moment in your business, 1/3 of your employees are a step away from being in the ditch, or sometimes they're already in it.
Yeah.
Right. And you're absolutely right about that balance, because you don't know what's going on in their life, right? A kid's
Unless
sick,
you ask.
right? Kid's sick, wife's sick, got a aorta. You got the widowmaker or aorta tested bad at the doc. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that
Man,
could be
you
going on.
I went straight to the bad stuff. Could just be a stubbed his toe in the morning.
No.
I mean, I got turf toe.
Casey's employees are losing limbs. And that's okay.
Hearts are falling
and
out.
The hearts are
All I'm
falling
saying
out.
is-
Like, it's okay. It's a crazy law office.
I
where
get it
he's
though,
at.
but there's also that thing where when you ask somebody, "Hey, is everything cool?" Maybe they don't tell you. It is what it is.
A lot of them won't.
And at a certain point, like if I ask somebody something, it's because I truly care. Because I'm not the guy that's just asking to ask. Like if I ask somebody something, I want to know an answer. And if they don't tell me, I'm gonna assume that they're just in a don't give a shit attitude that day.
So try this on for size, Jeff. So I used to be, hey man, is everything all right? Yeah, everything's fine. Well, I quit doing that. I'll come to them and say, man, I'm having this real issue, because I know the issue typically of what they're already having, right? Just from listening and observing.
Yeah.
And I'll tell them I'm having the same issue that they're already having. Even though I may or may not be having that same issue, what that allows it to do is that
Opens 'em
then
up.
You're in alignment.
their defense goes down
Yeah.
because, oh shit, you're fixing the same problem
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So now we're equal.
Yeah.
I'm no longer this guy and he's down here. Now he's like, oh, I can really jaw jack with this guy because he is going through the same trial and tribulation that I am at the same time. So I no longer have the fear of pouring out my issues to the owner of the company. Right.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
there is a very, very fine line from doing that. So tread very, very carefully in those waters about how personal you want to get with somebody and how, and how far you want to keep that away. You know what I mean? So there's some people that I've grown extremely close to and they know a lot about my background. And then there's other people that you're never going to know.
They just work
shit
for you.
About,
Yeah.
Who I am, what I'm about, or who I was. You
Yeah.
only are allowed to know about what I am today.
right.
And I set that up because hey, that's just what I want to do.
I think you definitely have to keep the gloves up, for lack of better words,
Mhm.
because we've all been in those situations, and me personally, I've been in the situation where I was buddies with my boss, like golfed with him, hung out with him, went to do this, blah blah, and then when it came down to brass tacks and it was like, let's talk business, it ended up being a buddy talk, and it's like, nah, bro, like I'm leaving, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's like, then it's a totally different.
Yeah, you ain't no
You're
longer your
leaving
friend.
on a different,
Yeah.
So I do understand the fact of like, hey, treat them right or they're going to take that knowledge and value and go somewhere else. And I get that because I did that. And that's why I have what I have.
And it's
now.
to be expected. We're sitting here talking to people right now and trying to convince them to go become self-employed.
Yeah.
Fair?
100%.
Like, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Mhm.
We're sitting out there telling Evan to go tell the people that he works with to eat it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do my own thing. I can make more money. I can have more freedom. I can do what I want because it's America.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That is what we're saying.
That's what the picture
Yeah.
business alliance
That's
is
what
about.
that's what
is
this
to
is.
be able to shift somebody's mindset to be able to become independently wealthy and free
Mhm.
and what have you. But we also aren't saying to just throw in the towel and tell your corporate or whatever your job that's paying your bills to suck it either.
You better be prepared.
You know what I
For
mean?
that
You
job.
better have implemented a business plan, a structure, an idea,
Market
ensure
analysis. the
you know
whole
what I
deal.
mean? Your
Yeah.
capital is where it needs to be at, or you can be somebody like me who says, you know what,
Watch this.
all that shit really isn't that important, guys. You can
Yeah.
actually just wing it.
Mhm.
Just
But
do
you
it.
know what?
You
The
can
thing
just
is,
do it, but
you
that's one of
can.
my strengths, and so it's
Exactly
not
what I
for
was going to
everybody.
say. And not everybody can do it that way. Like I'm the analysis guy. Like I'm the planner. I'm the whatever. So before I did anything, I have my business plan, my marketing analysis, my website. Like all this shit was jazzed up and ready to go.
I don't even know what those
You're
things
like,
are.
what?
What?
I don't know. But I'm serious,
What's
man.
a business plan?
That's my thing. So sometimes I
Market
get in a
analysis.
situation where I kind of overanalyze some things from time
Mhm.
to time. But
But
I-
now you recognize that.
I do, which
Yeah.
is a strength because I've kind of stepped back from it. But I'm never going to deviate from my standards. I'm never going to deviate from my culture or my core values. And
Mm-mm.
the core value boat, which is my acronym for my core value, either if you got a foot out, you're getting out,
Mhm.
or you better pull that foot back in real freaking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. And that's always how I'm going to be.
Yeah, and
I'm
I'm,
gonna
sure
care,
I'm sure
but-
I'll say the same.
You know?
When an opportunity passes my plate, the odds of me stopping and going, let me talk to some people about this,
Yeah.
I'm probably slim and none. I probably end up talking to people about it until I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
I should probably talk to somebody now. But I'm getting better. So that's another win.
It's
that
a
I have
learning
of-
thing every day. Just learn,
Yeah.
never lose, always learn.
Well,
you know?
because there's still people out there smarter than me.
always.
Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm not the smartest guy out there in the world.
Nah.
You got to get in a room
I-
full of
I
people
talk a
smarter than
lot,
you.
And I realized my wife is hella smart. Like she's like ridiculously smart. And like she's now helping me. She sends me a text probably once a day and it's in all caps. It says focus. Because she knows that's one of my weaknesses.
Yeah.
She knows that one of my biggest barriers on a daily basis is staying hyper focused on
Mhm.
something.
Yeah.
I get distracted constantly.
You got to do that
Constantly.
30-minute drill, dude. Do it for a week. Because we know that.
Fine.
Like put it in the universe that you're going to do it.
Fine. I said fine.
That ain't it.
That's not it. That's
Nuh-uh.
not the universe.
Hell no. But I
So-
love that
so-
she does that though,
I'll give
because
it yeah.
you are a whirlwind and everybody knows that that's around you. But that's one of the things that a lot of people look up to you about is because there's a lot more people out there like you than you think. You're
So-
definitely one of a kind and cut from a different cloth, but there are people out there that have super good
Mhm.
intentions, but they just can't wrap their head around what the first step is.
Right.
And sometimes the first step is a gamble. Sometimes the first step is hey, do I have enough money to live for 3 months? Hell yeah, let's do this.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's okay if you have the follow through to continue that hustle,
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
continue building those processes and things like that. Because I assure you, you have more processes in your business than you've shared with us,
Absolutely.
right? But that's how you're able to stay like this, but
Mhm.
then come back to this because you have some foundation. So don't get it twisted. Doc doesn't just fly off the seat.
Yeah,
of his
this isn't
pants.
like Tasmanian
Yeah.
Devil. There's some
The dude has a
there's some Jimmy
process.
Dean guys in the background, and Rochelle's one of them.
And I do, but it's just important that the people that are around me recognize
Who you are.
my character defects.
Yeah.
And they become willing to say, hey, Mike,
Yeah.
just focus for a second. Hey, Mike, halt, right? Like my acronym, halt.
Mhm. Yeah.
Hey, man, just take a moment and figure out what you really, really want this?
Yeah.
Now, because they know that I think that far ahead, you know what I mean? They're like, well, if you're going to think 5 years in advance, well, then let's really think 5 years in advance. Because sometimes I just see the shiny thing 5 years and that's what I'm chasing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's important that I focus.
Well, that's one of the things that's on our list tonight is setting expectations, making them realistic. And I'm going to say that's I don't think that has a lot of value. Right. I think it's important to focus on that shiny thing. Whatever that shiny thing is for you,
Oh, for sure.
focus on that and make it unrealistic because
Mhm.
shiny things that are realistic are usually fucking boring. Sorry, Keith.
No,
Hashtag sorry, Keith. Right. I mean,
I
hey,
usually,
man, I want to get a brand new used Ford F-150 in 10 years.
do you?
Who's going to wake up out of bed every morning?
No, bro, it's got to be uncomfortable. And
Right,
that's
you
something
know.
I have to push myself to be is uncomfortable. If I'm getting complacent, everybody knows complacency kills. If your goals aren't big enough to scare you,
Right.
then are you really dreaming?
No,
Are you
just
really
like
pushing.
just like Casey said today, we're like, oh yeah, get another house, get another. He's like, nah, bro, I want an apartment complex.
This dude's trying to be a mogul over here,
I'm all about it.
and I love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's also
But
very
that's thinking
similar
big.
to my vision, to Jeff's vision. You know what I mean? Just imagine if us three came in and figured it out and we freaking purchased a 300 unit apartment complex, each freaking shitting out $1,500 per unit.
Yeah.
Times that by 300.
It's a
That
lot.
hurts my brain right
Yeah,
now.
I'd have to pull the
It's
calculator.
a
know what I
lot of
mean?
math on
It's
a Wednesday
actually-
night
it's
at
actually
18:53 hours.
3 times 15, 15K to the 1, 3, and that's 4.
Yeah.
Add
So,
four
but here's how
zeros,
you-
that's
here's-
$45,000 a month.
Here's how you get to those big goals, though, is you play to your strengths. You figure out what you're good at. You
Mhm.
figure out what to delegate, and then you always work to get better every single day.
Yeah.
So I think at the end of the day, Elon Musk once said, "Stop being patient and start asking yourself, how do I accomplish my 10-year plan in 6 months?" Well, that makes my brain hurt. You will probably fail, but you will be a lot further ahead of the person who simply accepted it was going to take 10 years.
Absolutely.
That came from our
Man.
boy behind the camera right there. That's money right there.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah. And you
So
know
how-
what? I didn't think that way until about 2 years ago. And
Yeah.
you know why? It's because I had a paycheck coming in from another person.
Yeah, you were.
Right. So
You
I
were-
was like,
you
oh,
were-
this is okay because I still have money coming in. The moment I cut that and I severed those ties, I was honestly with myself like, okay, what did I do? Number one. And number two, I was like, okay, I did it. And I was excited.
Mhm.
And I started thinking big. And I said, I'm going to have 2 employees in a van by year 5. Well, I got that, but I don't have the van yet because you can't buy vans. But I got the employees a year ahead of time.
Hey, I got a guy.
Yeah, me too. And you
can't-
still can't buy it.
Well, I mean, I don't know about, title or
I'm
something.
not
but-
talking about Chester van. Like I need a real van.
We can wrap it whatever you want on
Yeah.
it, Jeff.
Yeah.
I
But
thought you were
dream
going with the
big.
A-team with the lift kit and the badass grill.
I'm trying to buy one, dude, like a new one though. I don't want to deal with used. I don't want to be
I
bringing it over to
understand.
Casey's
I-
house.
I-
Can you
I
change the oil, bro?
Let's
I know you got that 1965 oil kit back there.
make this happen.
Comes in a can.
Yeah. Open it up with your teeth.
Put some on
Hey, we got 5 minutes left.
Put some on your elbow.
Let's talk about the whiteboard party for about 5 minutes.
What are we talking about?
It's on December 15th.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have it at Base Camp Brannigan.
Base
So
Camp Reagan. So I got the freaking pass signed off by the boss. She's like, yeah. It was
are you
actually
sure?
her
Because if I
idea.
ask her about it and
It
she
was
says,
her
what are you talking
idea.
about?
It was her idea
'Cause she always hits me on the spot.
because she does that to see where you're at.
And then I just stop.
That's
I'm
right.
like, yeah, I talked to your husband.
That's right. We already know. So if Rochelle, you're listening, quit asking Jeff. He's already been told what to do.
Yeah. So don't be putting me in those spots, lady.
He's just gonna walk away.
That's what I
Big
did last
country,
time.
come inside here. Rochelle's
Yeah.
got some questions.
I said something to her the other day at the house. She's all, say what? I'm like, where you at? I'm looking for my guys. I'm like, I ain't got nothing to say to you, girl.
Just wait till we're done.
Trying to put me in the
So again,
December
December 15th, I'm opening up our house. We just moved over and
Breezy Hill.
Breezy Hill, Singing Water Lane. I mean, it's the only reason I'm doing it is because we couldn't find a place that was going to have the flow that we were looking for.
Right.
It meets the vision. Yeah.
And on top of that, it allows for people to see the work produced, the 12 years of hustle, the grind, the money making, the investments, the risks, the failures, the mistakes, to be able to go, wow, this is where, because I promise you folks, where I'm living today was not in my vision. It just wasn't. And I don't know why, because it just, maybe I didn't ever foresee it, or maybe I didn't feel that I was worthy enough, but whatever. Rochelle did it and we got it. And so we're happy. But it's a whiteboard party. There's going to be about 6 to 7 stations where we're going to talk and dial deep into your vision, dial deep into your systems and processes. We're going to dial deep into understanding your mindset and creating synergy. We're going to be talking about scaling. We're going to be writing about goals, SWOT analysis, understanding those. And myself, KC, Jeff, Ben Northcutt, my wife, Rochelle Rannigan, have all volunteered their time to each take one of those topics and to be able to dive into you guys. I mean, I think we got this priced at $25 a head.
I mean,
And
you
the
spend
only
25 bucks
reason,
on
well, the only reason
way
we're
stupider
asking for that
shit.
$25 is because we're going to provide food and entertainment.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot of money to provide 50 people with food. And we figure, hell, you know what? $1,000 should be able to have an open bar and bring some real good chow.
Yeah, and some surprises,
And
right?
some
Because we're
surprises.
always going to have.
Always going to have that impact. But we ain't going to tell you. You know why? Because we won't know till December 14th.
And to be honest, we won't know until he tells us December 15th in the morning. So,
Yeah.
but we'll make it work.
But Black Levels wired, tricked out the home to make this thing just be stellar. So no pressure.
Yeah, it's good.
No pressure. And we're just extremely excited about it because of the value and the content. I'm telling you what, guys, we're not throwing this party for y'all. We're selfish. We're doing it for us.
Yeah.
Because the amount of information that and the questions that are going to be
Mhm.
asked to us are going to help us internally with our
Yeah.
business at the same time.
So if you guys out there and you see this, you want to be involved with it, we have a view stub link. It's one of our events on the PBA page. Go there, buy your ticket, reserve your spot. We already have people buying tickets. And we haven't even really publicized it other than on a Wednesday night here.
Right.
So we'll be pushing hard pretty soon in the next week or so. But at a certain point, is $25 worth a little bit of value?
It's only 50 people too.
Man, I
Like,
tell you what, dude, I wish I would have learned 5 years ago the value of $25 to get in a room with a bunch of winners.
yeah. I mean,
I-
it's
you know
going to
what
be
I'm saying?
spectacular. Like I'm really, really, really excited. This is something that I've kind of talked about like on and off for about a year and a half. We did a mini whiteboard party last year.
This thing was badass,
It
though.
was freaking stupid
It
badass.
was put together last minute. There's
Yeah.
50 heads there and
And
millions and millions of dollars in business was
it was
passed.
just
Yeah.
incredible. And we're not trying to hype this up. I'm telling you, you can contact I will put references in this chat right now that you can personally call these people
Yeah, 100%.
and they can talk to you about the how much fun they had.
Yeah.
Because it's not your traditional damn masterminding. I'm talking if we're involved, it's just gonna be fun. It's gonna be high energy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great. And you're gonna walk away with stuff that you can use the same day, if
Mhm.
you know the following day. So we're extremely excited.
Right, and be ready for 2022. Right, everybody got kicked. You know, you got like last year was like sweep the leg, right? I mean, it was
Hell
like
no, hell no,
Mm.
not for me.
Not for me.
for a
I
lot of people,
dominated
for a
last
lot
year.
of people, right?
Well, and to be fair, we understand that and we're not overlooking that. We get that. But in the same token, there's enough money to be made in America that if you didn't find a way to make money, it's probably because you didn't want to.
Yeah, because you
Get that? I get it, right?
Well-
So we're talking about being ready for 2022.
yes.
100%.
We're talking about, I mean, this whole weekly broadcasts, business dev, what we're doing here for patriots, for veterans, for anybody who wants to be better than they were yesterday, right? Because who's outside doing push-ups?
the deal.
That guy. That guy's outside doing, and he ain't taking days off, right? He doesn't give a damn about Santa Claus, Coca-Cola, polar bears, right? I mean, he hates Christmas more than Skinner does.
Oh,
So-
shit, that's you, man.
Humbug.
Be there.
But anyway,
12,
be there,
15.
man. Be ready for 2022, right? Because if you really want to get that push, right? You want to identify what your strengths are. You want to wake up and feel remarkable. You want to set some remarkable goals where you're really thinking big about doing what my man Evan said about, have the guts to think about your 10-year plan in 180 days. Maybe you're going to fall. If your goal is here and you hit here, you're still better than you were right there.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I wanted to comment on that. So thank you, Evan. Because I fit that, right? So when I was 30 years old, my 10-year goal was to make $1 million by the time I was 40. Well, I promise you folks, from the age of 30 to about 36, I did nothing to accomplish that goal. So in theory, I actually accomplished becoming a millionaire within 4 years. So what was read by Jeff, just because you have a 10-year goal doesn't mean it's a 10-year deadline.
Yeah, 100%.
You
Get
know
there
what I
faster.
mean? You can get to
Yeah.
whatever your goal is as fast as you want. The only reason we're putting a date and time stamp in it is so you can be held accountable.
Yeah.
Accountability. Yeah.
You know, it's just like me putting on the GPS. It's going to take you 32 minutes to get to Dallas. I'm like, wow, Siri don't know shit about Dallas. I'll get there in 30 minutes. Right.
Or 50.
We all do it because we
Yeah.
want to, we're competitive. If you're a business owner, you have a sense of competition
Yeah.
driving you in
Yeah.
your blood flow. So anyways, man, this was a stellar freaking live this evening. I mean, I took a lot of
me
good
too.
stuff from here.
But it ain't done because we still got work to do. We're
Yeah.
about to go
Oh.
grind away for a couple
Yeah,
hours so we can
we got
plan
2 hours
out.
after this to go figure out what we're doing for 2022. We may go live on the last hour, show people
So,
what it's about.
That's it. But hey, we're gonna go do us. We're gonna go get ready so we can provide you guys value for 2022. Go home, listen to this, share with your friends, catch us on YouTube. You can catch us on our Spotify, iTunes podcast. If you can't watch, you can listen to it. Go find the Patriot Business Alliance on a podcast today. Subscribe to it, like it, however that jazz works. But listen to it and let us know what you think about it. We're gonna go get ready for a $10,000 Thursday.
That's
Yeah.
right. $10,000 Thursday, Evan. What are you going to do to make 10 G's tomorrow?
He's doing it right now. He don't know it.
You
That's
know,
it.
he's like, I
Hey,
don't
if you
even
can't be
know.
good, be good at it, right, Doc?
Don't you
I try to
fuck
do
my
it. I do.
slogans up,
Okay,
man.
let's start over. Hit him with it.
Yo, folks, if you can't be good at it.